Welcome to this brief overview of the Code of Fundraising Practice. Here you'll find the basic rules applying to fundraising in the UK, some useful links to further information, and guidance on how to keep your fundraising compliant with a raft of regulations. So who regulates fundraising in the UK? Well, sadly, there isn't one organisation to oversee everything that we do as fundraisers. There are several regulatory bodies overseeing different elements of the fundraising task. So whilst the Code of Fundraising Practice, which is operated by the fundraising regulator, covers most of what we do, there are also other organisations' codes of conduct and legal acts to take into account, such as the Telephone Preference Service, which regulates who we can and cannot contact by phone, or the Direct Marketing Code of Conduct, which outlines how we can contact supporters by post. And of course, as a charity, you also have to comply with the rules and regulations as laid out by the Charity Commission and possibly also by Companies House if you trade as a business, not forgetting good old HMRC too. But don't panic. The Information Commissioner's Office has some great resources and guidance for any organisation in terms of how to collect, manage, use and store supporter data in order to comply with all UK data protection regulation. At its simplest, this could be holding all supporter data in a spreadsheet which is password protected. But moving on to the rules which directly relate to how we undertake our fundraising activity, you need to be familiar with the Code of Fundraising Practice. The Code of Practice sets the standards that apply to fundraising carried out by all charitable institutions and third-party fundraisers in the UK. Ultimately, your trustees are responsible for making sure that anyone fundraising on your behalf complies with all the regulations and also with the spirit of the law. Here are the overriding themes of the code, which are then broken down into more detail in the full code. For the purposes of this, fundraising means to ask for money or other property for charitable, benevolent or philanthropic purposes, and it covers a wide range of fundraising methods. The code aims to promote a consistent high standard of fundraising, make sure charitable institutions, their governing bodies and fundraisers know what's expected of them, and set out the standard when considering complaints, and to provide a benchmark for organisations and fundraisers to assess their practices so they can identify necessary training and monitor and set out policy priorities for their fundraising. And finally, most importantly, to develop a culture of honesty, openness and respect between fundraisers and the public. So here are just a few examples of how fundraising regulation will affect some of the everyday fundraising tools that you use. For example, tin rattling in public areas, you need a licence from the council. If young people fundraise from you, you must have parental permission. Any charity can tin rattle, but if you're a registered charity, you must state it on the tin with your charity number clearly shown. Raffles outside of an event will need a gambling licence and properly printed tickets. And compliance with the code is everyone's responsibility, but your trustees must ensure that the organisation is complying with the law and everyone is following good fundraising standards. So if you need further help or guidance in any area of fundraising, please get in touch with us here at Airvas.